Hi, my name is Allya binti Muhammad Rizal 205709. So for my BGY3 004 video assignment, I'll talk about the evolution of women beauty standard. So, what is the definition of women beauty standard? As you can see on the slide, so basically women beauty standards are defined as the specific traits that are possessed by a certain woman that are considered and set as perfect version of beauty a woman can possibly achieve. For instance, full lips, smooth clear skin, clear eyes, animated facial expression, and high energy level. However, the beauty standards did change countless of time throughout the centuries. If you look back throughout the time, there was always been beauty ideals preference for women and expectation of how our physical should look like. So now, I'm going to go through the history and evolution of the women beauty standards. We'll start with 1292 till 1069 BC, which is ancient Egypt era, where the standard was slim and slender women with braided wigs, wear lots of eyeliner and had a symmetrical face, narrow shoulders, and have high waist. Then there is ancient Greece era, from 500 to 300 BC, where women strive for unibrows and bleach curls. Full and plump-bodied was considered as the ideal type of body shape during that era too. Next, around 206 BC till 220 AD, there was the Han dynasty where women grew their hair as long as they can, often down to the floor, and keep their lips red. Slim waist and small feet also considered as the standard during that time. Moving on a little more ahead, which is to the Italian Renaissance era, 1700s, a full and ample body, light hair and pale ivory skin were thought of as the superior indications of beauty. During that time period, they were also introduced to Aphrodite, who was an ancient Greek goddess of the sexual love and beauty. She had full hips, fair skin, and a very sweet face. Then, we jump into the 1850s era, where the beauty standards drastically changed. I welcome you to the era of Victorian England, or known as the era of the corset. Now, don't get me wrong, women's body were still desirably plump and full-figured, but in this time period, women clinched their waist with tight-fitting undergarments to achieve the perceptions of the desirable hourglass figure. As you can see, the idea was for women to have tiny waists but appears to have a bigger butt, which encouraged the corset and the hoop skirt. As you can see, these dresses have the most beautiful embellishments, and the women were expected to always dress perfectly like this. This time period lasted through the reign of Queen Victoria, and she was considered one of the most influential figures at the time. Going to skip ahead to the 1920s, the Roaring Twenties era. In here, we are going to see that the women's ideal and beauty standards was to have a flat chest, a down-plait waist, and a short bob hairstyle to emphasize on the boyish figure. They actually wears bras that conflict in their chest. In 1950, which was the most stunning era that was called as the Golden Age of Hollywood era, a curvy hourglass figure, large breasts, and slim waist now back in image for women. For this time, I believe they were best compared to Barbie dolls, as you can see here, perfect body proportion and with a glamorous makeup look. Now, I'd like to welcome you to the swinging 60s era. This is where women strive to be long and willowy with long slim legs. There were two main styles, which were ladylike and preppy, or that hippie look. Either way, both favored the dramatic eyes, also known as tarantula eyes and pixie cats. 2 decades later, I welcome you to the 1980s. This is the supermodel era, where women were celebrated if they look athletic yet still svelte and curvy, have toned arms, and tall like models. This era had officially brought the exercise crave phenomenon to every woman in town. Apart from that, sadly, media was also encouraging women to be thin to be fit on the beauty preferences during this era, which contributed to a dramatic increase in anorexia, mainly because of the extreme obsession with exercising. Due to that, we were brought to the heroin chic era or 1990s. To be considered as a beauty during this era, they had to be extremely thin with translucent skin and androgynous, which is having the physical characteristics of both sexes, male and female. The beauty ideal of this era was often referred as person who is thin and look unhealthy or uncared for the model. To be quite frank, big bumps and curves just didn't make the cut in the 90s. After that roller coaster throughout history and evolution, we have made it back to the postmodern era, which is starting from 2000 till today, also known as the healthy skinny era. You have to possess flat stomach and thigh gaps, but also large butt and breasts, which is something too illogical to healthily achieve that standards. As for the facial part, the full senses lips is definitely the virtue of beauty. The standards of beauty for women is getting increasingly harder to attain. They expected us to be skinny but not too skinny, with large breasts and big butt, all while maintaining a flat stomach. So I guess you are wondering how people decide and set the beauty standards throughout the era, just as what I've mentioned before for women. Okay, so the standard was set when the majority group of people at that time found or adored some unique and beautiful features on women, and to the level where they agreed that those features should define the beauty of the women. Some of the factors that were accounted by the perceivers to set up the women beauty standards are facial body symmetry, body ratio, and youthfulness. According to the evolutionary theories, facial and body symmetry is an attractive quality as it signals health and fitness. They believe that only the hardiest and healthiest of the population possess the ability to develop facial and body symmetry in spite of harsh environmental conditions. As for the body ratio, people specifically looking at the waist-hip ratio, which reflects the distribution of fat between the upper and lower body and the relative amount of abdominal fat. Typically, women rated as attractive are those who have normal weight and have a low waist-hip ratio. Next, youthfulness. Youthful female features are included as one of the factors because of its strong association with vitality. Plus, women were rated as less feminine as they age. Now I'm going to tell you why this evolution happened and still happening. Although this kind of evolution does not bring as much benefit to women because we are all beautiful in our own ways, women are still being treated differently depending on your beauty scale. Women who is blessed with preferred beauty preference, they tend to get a good treatment, job and partner easily, which people term as beauty privilege. In addition, women also got influenced and manipulated by the media that emphasize and portray how beauty should be. Women are intelligent, but sometimes the insecurities that eat them up. Due to that, some women even expend their energy and time to display their favorite traits just so they can fit into their standards. This also can be acknowledged as an adaptation. It is because women find ways to meet the particular qualities just so they can achieve and meet the beauty standards as a result of the pressure from the perceivers themselves. Thus, more adaptation, eventually causing an evolution to happen. In conclusion, this is why the evolution of the beauty standards happened and still happening until now. So lastly, I just want to express a little opinion about this evolution. I personally don't like how women should always listen and follow the beauty standards just so they could be more accepted in the society. It is because beauty is subjective. However, looking on the bright side of this evolution, it did display the term of subjective. We can see that from the beginning till now, different types of women are considered as the ideal beauty. So it shows that almost all types of women are beautiful regardless of the traits you possess. Don't ever let yourself be sad about how you look because you are beautiful. As what Coco Chanel used to say, beauty begins the moment you decide to be yourself. So that is all from me, and this is my references from my researchers. And yeah, thank you so much for watching.